Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Box Talk with Luis Madrid. Today we are here with a very special guest. Not only is she a great boxing coach, but also a bit of an internet sensation. Uh, if you follow any type of boxing pages, or you might have even seen her videos on YouTube going viral or something, you've probably seen this face before. So, Coach Kam, thank you for giving us a little bit of time today. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. No, well, thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. I know this is a little bit overdue. I was kind of trying to drag it out a little bit to see if maybe some plans to California would come out to do it in person, but I'm not big on the Zoom thing. I always technology is usually not nice to me, so I like to do my interviews in person, but it's cool. I'm sure we'll work in the future.
Oh, definitely.
All right, sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Can we go ahead and just start from the beginning? Can you just tell us a little bit about, your birthplace, your childhood, and family upbringing?
Yeah. Well, so I was born in Manila, Philippines. I moved to the United States when I want to say about 9. We moved to New Jersey, and then I came to California, and I've been in California ever since. But I have an amazing family. They support me. I never knew I was going to be a boxing coach, that's for sure. But it happened, and we're here now. So I actually worked retail my whole life, and I went to nursing school. So becoming a coach was kind of like, how did that happen? But it and now we're here. So
For sure. Sounds good. And we'll definitely get into that. But before we get into that, were you always like a boxing fan growing up, or did your family or your parents or anybody, did you grow up watching boxing?
yeah, so that's it's really funny you should ask that. I am and still a huge boxing fan, but growing up, you just kind of knew the mainstream boxers, right? Like Floyd and all of them, and of course Manny Pacquiao. You know about those boxers, but being in this game, it has made me realize that there's more to boxing than just them. There's the people who are trying to be in their position. Boxing goes so deep. So I'm a bigger fan of it now than I've ever been.
For
Yeah.
sure. And so I always, whenever I'm going to interview somebody, I always like to do my homework a lot. So I watch a lot of interviews and a lot of stuff before this. And I could tell your love for Manny Pacquiao. So I'm sure we're probably going to hear that name about 15 times throughout this interview.
Only if you let me.
It's cool. Go for it. I honestly, you're probably going to hate me for this, but I honestly kind of learned to love him, to love Manny as he got a little bit older. I was a huge Floyd fan growing up, and I had to kind of hear the whole, he's running from Pacquiao and all that stuff. And most of my friends were Pacquiao fans, so I pretty much had to deal with that for like 6 years. So I kind of hated him
Oh,
a little bit,
yeah.
for
Don't say
sure.
that about him, and
No,
I
no,
won't
no,
you.
no, no,
Okay.
no. We're good. Like I said, I learned to respect him as the things he was doing at his age was crazy. Like when he beat Keith Thurman and he was like 40 years old, I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So to get into your story a little bit, I understand that you have a very unique story as far as why you got introduced to boxing or why you started getting into boxing. Can you talk to us a little bit about that story?
It is unique. So I was in a really abusive relationship, and it's what led me to take boxing as a sport for self-defense. So um, I just took it on, and it helped me become a better person. And like I said, now I'm here helping other people find that version of themselves. So
For sure. So, how do you so you mentioned that you got into boxing because of self-defense or wanting to learn how to defend yourself. So how did that transition or evolve into everything that you're doing now, which is a full-time coach, running a gym, and even cornering professional and amateur fighters?
Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think like I blinked and then it happened. Like, you know how things happen that way? Like you're doing something and you're trying to progress in an area, and then all of a sudden you just blink and now all of a sudden you're somewhere else. Um, so I wanted to pursue like a professional career in boxing. I did when I was much younger than I am now. I'm not going to reveal my age because women don't do that.
Right.
But I remember one day we were short on coaches at the old gym that I used to work at. And I ended up helping hold mitts. I've never held a mitt in my life. I ended up helping hold mitts for this women's class. And just the feedback that I got from these women who I was helping coach, just simply, coaching them kind of brought a lot of joy and fulfillment in my heart. Um, and then I went from there to helping train kids. And then I remember I trained a kids class, and the kids class had an amateur fighter in it. And then I got roped into standing next to the coach, the head coach, and kind of like listening in on the corner and studying and listening some more and studying to where I now find myself working corners by myself with my own amateur fighters. And then now I have the chance to learn from a professional fighter, and then another professional fighter, and then another professional fighter. So it's kind of like everything just kind of kept, it was a snowball effect. Seriously.
Right.
So that's how it happened. And I never, ever, ever miss an opportunity to learn from anybody who I know knows more than me.
Right.
I will always take that opportunity. I was just with Freddie Roach, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Man, I'm telling you, when I say I listened to everything that man said to anybody, it didn't even have to be me. To anybody he was cornering, I was listening. I've been working with Dub Huntley. Um, when I come across fighters like Leo Santa Cruz, Gabe Rosado, I talk to oh my gosh, what is his name? Sean Porter. I talked to Larry Wade, the conditioning coach of uh Sugar Shane Jr., what's his name? Yeah, Sugar Shane Jr. and Caleb Plant and all them. Like I'm literally listening to everything these people are saying. And right now I'm working with Brandon Adams. So it just kind of fell on my lap a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. It was overwhelming. No, for
Right.
real, overwhelming at first. Like when I was next to Freddie Roach, I was like, dude, I'm really next to Freddie Roach right now. This man is the person who coached my favorite fighter.
Right.
Like stuff like that, you can't you got to take advantage of stuff like that, seriously, because it you may never get those opportunities again. But yeah, I like to answer your previous question, I blinked and then
No, I hear you. I'm the same exact way. Obviously I'm not a coach, but I'm a junkie, so I appreciate things like that. I've been to like Blue Moon before, and I was watching Buddy McGirt telling somebody things on the bag, and I was just sitting there like I wasn't even blinking, just listening to everything that he was saying and just taking it in. So I hear you on that. Now, as far as the social media thing goes, like you just absolutely went crazy like within like a year, I think it was, because I think I started following you right before you just went crazy. So, was there like a particular video or how does that even start where you start posting your videos? Like, does that come from you, or did like somebody tell you like, come on, just post it, and then next thing you know, it just catches fire?
you know what, there was one video that I had posted videos before this one viral video hit. And I was just holding mitts like regular, and And I posted one video where I was doing the body shield, and all of a sudden, in 3 days, it got to 1 million.
That's
And
crazy.
days, it got to 6 million views. And people who weren't even boxers were reposting my video. The Game reposted my video. Jamie Foxx reposted my video on their stories. Tyrese reposted my video. DL Hughley reposted my video. So now I'm getting these friend requests. Busta Rhymes reposted my video. All these
Oh,
people.
you used to have your Instagram private?
No, it's not
Oh,
private.
just follows? You were getting follows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, my phone got hot. In a week, it was just follow, comment. That video is now at 17 million views, 700
Crazy.
likes. Yeah. And then for some reason, it ended up on YouTube. It ended up on the internet. Then I made a TikTok. On TikTok, it made 9 million views. It's crazy. It's crazy. So from there, I blew up. But see, the difficult part about me being me and the job that I chose is being able to switch off, going from those types of videos on Instagram to being an actual boxing coach. And let me tell you, you have no idea how much. Can I cuss on here? No?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have no idea how much shit I get for posting these crazy videos. Oh, she's not a real coach. She don't really know what she's doing.
It just holds pads.
She just holds mitts. She's a woman. All my amateurs are undefeated. Okay, wait, no, I think I have 1 loss. Whatever. I have 8 amateurs with 1 loss. All of them have wins. You guys don't give me my credit. For real, give me my credit. And then
Sure.
I say it one more time.
No, I said for sure. That's why I said in the beginning I started off with coach and then internet sensation, because I don't want them to get it twisted and think that you're just you just went viral on the internet. I know you're doing your thing.
Thank you.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it was that video. It was that video where Casey, his name is Casey, he was hitting me to the body. And yes, it hurts. If you want to ask a question, no, I couldn't wake up in the morning because my ribs were bruised. So, but I do it because that's my job as a coach. No, outside of that video, no one sees that I hold that body shield for 4, 5, 6 rounds for my fighters. And they're
cruiserweights and heavyweights and
really working on things. They're working on foot placement. They're working on placing their punches. Like that was just for the gram, but no one really knows I wear that thing every day.
right.
And
I feel you. So before all of that stuff started happening, were you kind of like a private person? Like were you just kind of like whoa, because all of a sudden you're just like, I think you did like a mini documentary, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was with like Box Raw, and you were getting shared by all these big pages, and you're in Vegas doing photo shoots and all that. Like how much did your life really change after that?
it changed a lot. It changed a lot. I still don't. I still act like the way people treat me, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'll be like out and somebody will say, "Oh my God, you're Coach Kam," and it won't even register because I'll be like, "Who's here? Who are you guys talking about?" Talking about me. And it's definitely a humbling experience. It's humbling.
Do you remember how many Instagram followers you started with, and now you're like at almost 300K?
Oh my gosh, I think I had I remember when I was at 2000.
Jeez.
I remember because I was at 900 right at one point, and then I don't know how I got to 2000. And I remember I thought I was, bad. oh my gosh, 2,000 followers, yes. But then now I'm just kind of like, bruh, the whole world is literally watching me.
It's
The
time to
whole,
it's time to get you a blue check.
yeah, I know. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not happening.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's awesome. That's a really crazy story. And like I said, I've seen a lot of it, a lot of the Instagram stuff, I don't see the everyday stuff, I'm in another state, but yeah, I seen it and I was just like wow, like it's awesome. It's so dope to see you, just go through all those adventures and all those cool opportunities that are presenting to you. Um, so I know that this is a very male dominant sport. So how do you feel like you get your respect? Like, do you feel like whenever you show up to like pro or amateur fights, cornering somebody, or even when you take them to like sparring at other gyms, do you feel like the men instantly kind of look down on you, the ones that don't know you?
Yes, all the time.
And then are they just kind of like, oh shit, she knows what she's talking about?
They're never, even if they thought that way, they will never admit it. They will never admit it. And I don't mean to be serious because the conversation is supposed to be a light and uplifting one, but all the time, every time I step into a gym, it's always, oh, who does she think she is? Why does she look like that? Why is her hair so long? Why does she smell so good? Or her nails are done. She's not a real coach, and it's sad that men will speak about a woman in this way, And I'm going to say it when Brandon said it. Brandon said in an interview we both did, he said, how can you speak bad about a woman? You come from a woman. You know,
Right.
any of these men, if their mom or their sister or whoever is close to them decided to break out of the box and follow her dreams and what saved her life, would you allow or want any other person to speak about her in a derogatory way, the way that you're speaking about me? You wouldn't allow that to happen. You would be frustrated. You would feel disrespected. You'd be like, hey, yo, that's my mom you're talking about, or that's my sister you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
For
And
sure.
nobody knows the hard work that I put in, the studying that I do, the things. All they see is social media. Oh, here she goes again with a selfie. Here she goes again, kind of shaking her hips a little bit. Here she goes again. That's all they see, and that's all they're going to base off of. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Looks can be deceiving. So it's really frustrating. It is. And the only time they will respect me is when they talk to me and they ask me a question and I actually answer, and I can talk boxing. I can. Don't
Sure.
let fool you. I can talk boxing. Or when I have an amateur fight and my amateur wins, then they'll look and they'll be like, oh shit, she did that. She really did that. But other than that, it's never going to change.
Right.
Just when it change, it never does. So
And so with that being said, I know you're huge on women empowerment.
yeah,
So what message do you give to those, to those young girls or even somebody that's not young, about being fearless and just not caring whether it's in boxing or just in anything that they're doing in general, because it's something that you've had to face a lot, especially as you started, doing this boxing stuff.
yeah. You can't lose the reason why you started, and it's always going to be the same all the time. You cannot lose the reason, the purpose that you have for wanting to do that specific thing that your mind and your heart is just honed in on. You can't lose that, because the minute that you lose sight of that, everything everybody tells you is going to break you into pieces. I've been there. I've been there. I have been in, like, trust me, I've had my moments where I'm like, man, maybe boxing is not for me. But then I realized why I started. This is what saved my life. This is what saved my life. And now I'm in a professional and amateur realm. People act like because I'm working with fighters, the tone can't be the same.
Right.
Saying when I say that, what I'm saying is they act like the only time I can be uplifting or I can be motivational is when it comes to regular people, like people who don't want to compete. No, you could be motivational and uplifting to amateurs and professional fighters too. They're people too. They act like there's some secret recipe to becoming a professional or an amateur coach. No, you still want somebody in your corner that you can trust, that you can depend on, and that believes in you the way that you believe in yourself.
And someone that wants the best for you.
Exactly. Exactly. People act like, oh, it's a professional fighter. We got to act different. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's the same thing. You still got to be the best person for them. You still have to.
Right.
So men. No, I'm just kidding.
So what do you think about the state of of women's boxing today? Like we just had a historical fight not too long ago with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. I hope you watched it. That was a freaking amazing. That, to me, that fight was way better than Valdez versus Shakur. So that fight was amazing.
Wait, so okay. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fight. Although I am a huge fan of both those women, but I did hear, God, please correct me if I'm wrong. Katie Taylor, she won, right? Or she lost?
She won on the it was officially a W, but I saw it maybe a draw.
Well,
What
look.
am I doing wrong here, Coach?
No, not at all. Again, I didn't really see the fight. I did hear there was a lot of like on the cards, this is what it was, but in like the real boxing connoisseur's eye, somebody else won that fight. But no, I was watching the Shakur.
But it wasn't on at the same time, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I don't think so. No.
Not on at the same time. But you mentioned the Shakur fight. That's the fight I did watch.
Right. Well, if you have the zone, you might want to run it back, or if whenever it comes out on YouTube, because that was an awesome fight.
I do have the zone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
for sure. Sounds good. Well, we have two other segments. Well, I'm sure there's some things that you feel like we left out, but at the end, I have this fun segment where it's basically not about boxing. I ask you 12 fun random questions about you, and I'm sure some of the things that you're like, oh, he's leaving that out, are gonna be on there. So hang with me, okay?
Okay.
So before we get to that, though, I usually have, I like to get a quick breakdown of upcoming fights. I usually like to have 3 fights, but I couldn't really find 3 fights coming up. I could only find 2. So one of them is like a high possibility that it's going to happen. So we'll just hope that that one does end up happening. But the first fight that I have for you is the Devin Haney versus Cambosos. I believe it's June 4th. So it's coming up.
Yeah.
The unification bout at or the undisputed bout at 135. How do you see that? How do you see that playing out, especially with Devin with no dad over there?
Yeah. So they're going to Cambosos' backyard for this fight, right? I think Devin is really ballsy for wanting to go and fight Cambosos in his home arena, because Cambosos is not a pushover. Right. That man can freaking fight. And not only can he fight, his inside game is vicious. It is vicious. And Devin likes to stay out of the pocket, right? So I feel like it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. this fight.
Right.
For Devin Haney, not bad.
You're probably having Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn flashbacks right now, huh?
But here's the thing: Pacquiao still beat Jeff Horn.
No, that's what I'm saying. And
Oh,
there's a big possibility that Haney might win on points. That's what I think it might happen. And then they're still gonna just, they're gonna give it to Cambosos. And I believe it was in Australia too.
Whose promotional company is this fight under?
It's well, I know Devin signed with Top Rank for 2 fights, so it's gonna be on ESPN, but I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's gonna be on ESPN through Top Rank.
I think it's like I said, I think it's gonna be a game of cat and mouse. Devin is great at ring generalship, but Cambosos is the type too that knows what you're doing and he'll lure you into his punches. And like I said, Cambosos is good on the inside. It's to me, it's gonna be a great fight, but without Devin's dad being in the picture, I'm trying to figure out what kind of game plan Devin and his team has going into this fight. Because
did you see who his substitute trainer is, though? By the way, it's Zab Judahs' dad, so he knows a thing or two. What's his name? Yola Judah or something like that. Zab Judahs is what do you call it?
Yeah. His dad trained him for for
Made
his
him
whole,
undisputed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And he's been training them. It's not like they've been kind of, dad and Judah's dad. It's not like it was just randomly like, hey, it's just you.
Right. I think, I don't know. Now that I know who's training Devin Haney, like, I don't know. I know his dad kind of stepped down, but I didn't know it was Zab Judahs' dad that's training Devin.
It's crazy. So what do you think if you had to put the money on it, what do you think happens?
I'm gonna give it to. That's a tough one. Because are they gonna allow Cambosos to win at home, even though Devin Haney is who Devin Haney is? I think Devin Haney is gonna win that fight. Decision. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a KO for sure. Right. There's no. I will never, not against Cambosos. No.
Right. Cool. Then the next fight that I have is next weekend, the Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero.
Oh my God! I heard that fight. Oh my God. Okay. My mentor is gonna be watching this, and my mentor is Rolly's conditioning coach.
Right.
So let me watch what I say. Man, Tank is a beast, but when he fought Isaac Cruz, I don't know. Like, I kind of saw a little bit of Tank getting shook up.
Because remember, he was hurt though.
He was hurt, yes. Yeah. But he felt that pressure.
Right.
Felt that pressure. And he kind of started, it looked like he started to fold, but I mean, he did, and obviously he won. But against Rollies, my goodness, I don't even know what to think about Rollies. I don't ever get asked this question. Anytime I get interviewed, Rollies is never brought up until now because he just so happens to be fighting Tank Davis.
Well, maybe if we would have had, if we would have had some really dope fights coming up, then maybe it wouldn't be on there. But unfortunately, we got to work with what we have.
Bring up the Bivol and the Canelo fight. Why won't you bring that up? I'm just kidding. Hold on. So no, I think Tank is gonna win the fight against Rollies. I think Rollies is a hard puncher. I think he's a sharp puncher. But as far as boxing is concerned, I don't think he's a good boxer. I think Tank's gonna beat him.
Sure. The last 12 quick questions, okay? So the first one that I have for you is what's the first thought that enters your head when you wake up in the morning?
Thank God.
Okay. Question number 2 is what is a Coach Kam music playlist like? So if we just get your phone and put it on shuffle, what are we gonna find?
Backstreet Boys, Too Short, Future, Drake, Blast, Chris Brown, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. It's a lot.
All righty. Question number 3 is, how did your sneaker addiction begin?
When I decided I didn't want to look bummy in these Mitt videos
Okay.
because I wear all. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 4 is, when you used to have your amateur fights, what was your favorite thing to eat after weigh-ins?
Tacos.
Tacos. There you go.
Yes.
Question number 5 is, what is Coach Kam's biggest pet peeve?
Bad BO.
Okay. Question number 6 is, what is your favorite sneaker of all time, if you have one?
The bread 11s, whether it be the red ones, the black ones, or the white ones. High top.
All right. Question number 7, if a movie was made about your life story, who would play you?
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay. And then question number 8 is, I know that you're like a super workaholic, so whenever you do get a little bit of downtime, what do you like to do?
Watch boxing.
Watch boxing? You don't do no family time or go out with friends or nothing?
And I'm still on my phone watching
Okay,
boxing.
for sure. Okay, and question number 9 is, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Pokemon.
Pokemon. That's an interesting one. Question number 10 is, what is one movie or movies that have made you cry or shed a tear before?
The Blind Side.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Question 11 is, if you weren't a boxing coach, what do you think you'd be doing as a profession?
I would be a nurse.
A nurse?
Yeah, a registered nurse.
Okay. And then the final question is, what is your least favorite exercise and what is your favorite exercise?
My least favorite is jumping rope, and my favorite is shadow boxing.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, there you have it. Before we let you go, do you have any final words for, your supporters and any social media that you want to give out?
Well, yeah, thank you to everyone for your love and your support. I'm truly humbled again. Follow me on Coach_Kam with 4 M's. That's TikTok, Instagram, and my YouTube. So
There we go. Awesome. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time today, Coach. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for joining into another episode of Box Talk with Luis Madrid. God bless everybody. Thank you.
I